The Grizzlies traded Mike Conley to the Jazz, and a lot of people, I was struck by how incredibly enthusiastic people were about the pairing of Conley and Donovan Mitchell in Utah, and talking about how they are now one of the best backcourts in the NBA. So I gave you a task this morning.
Great.
Give me the top 5 backcourts in the NBA as of right now.
Start off with number 5. Let's start off with number 5. We will start off with Mike Conley, and we will start with Donovan Mitchell. Mike Conley averaged 21 points last year per game, 6 assists for his career, great at distributing the ball. Donovan Mitchell, slight little drop off in his points per game last year, Swagoo, but ultimately, I think he's going to bounce back in his third year, one of the most lethal backcourts in the league. You with me, number 5?
He needed Mike because he had a little dry run in the playoffs, take some pressure off of him. I got you.
Okay, great. Yep. So as you see a little footwork there by Mike Conley. Look at those finishes. Welcome back to the game, Mike Conley. Now back on the big stage. Let's go number 4, Greeny. Number 4, this one may drive a lot of people crazy, but I'm going to tell you why.
Whoa.
Paul George, I said Paul Westbrook. Look, I just combined the two. Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double for the entire season. Paul George finished number 3 in the MVP voting. He also led the league in steals per game. But I factor team play into this whole thing as well. And for all that talent, their team didn't live up to expectations, not even getting into the Western Conference Finals.
So that, if you just, again, separate the names,
yes,
I think a lot of people would have expected this pair to be a lot higher than that.
I agree. Team play has to do a lot of stuff with it. All right, so you see number 3. Now we're going to go to, once again, James Harden and CP3. James Harden. Now, James Harden averaged 36 points per game. Okay, incredibly. I thought he should have been MVP. Still got love for you, Giannis. Congratulations. But CP3 had his worst year statistically in his career. Shooting percentage, he shot 42% from the field. On 2-pointers, he shot 48. That's the lowest he's had in his entire career in the NBA. I think he still needs to have another big-time year next year for them to be catapulted into the top 2. Plus, they lost back-to-back years. They should have won that last series with Golden State with KD being out.
I'm not going to lie to you. I can think of one pair that you probably have ahead of them. I'm not sure who you have cooked up for us at number 2.
All right, let's go to number 2. Dame Lillard and C.J. McCollum.
Yeah.
So let's put some respect on their name.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk this team last year, Greeny. I had a stat. Himbo gave me a great stat. They averaged 47% of their team scoring in the playoffs. 47%. Dame knocked down game winners. C.J. took his game to a different level. Last year, they got knocked out of the first round by the Pelicans. This year, regardless of their path or not, for them to take this franchise to the Western Conference Finals, we had to put some respect on their name. Right?
Okay, that's a whoa. Go ahead.
Is McCollum one of the best ISO players in the NBA?
And also, moving without the ball, he's like a Rip Hamilton 2.0, but can shoot the ball from deeper as well.
All right.
And then number 1, obviously, we go with Steph-Klay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Steph-Klay.
If not for the injury to Klay Thompson, this would have been an obvious.
It would have been 7 games. And you would actually given this team a chance to win the whole thing without Kevin Durant, with just Steph-Klay. That goes to show you how powerful they are.
Listen, this has to be said out loud. Everyone always refers to the Splash Brothers as being the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. That's not even in debate. They're by far
close.
At some point, we have to start talking about whether they are actually the greatest NBA backcourt of all time. In terms of accomplishment and individual talent, they've got to be creeping into that conversation. So I have no argument there. Swagoo, what do you think of him putting Lillard and McCollum? And again, Lillard beat Oklahoma City almost by himself, and McCollum beat Denver almost all by himself. But having them ahead of this pair and this pair.
The only reason I have them ahead of this pair because CP3 did not have a great year.
I'm with you.
Let me ask you this, because I like number 2 being in front of Paul and Harden. Does Chris Paul fit in this ISO situation? Right? He's a distributor. He's used to having the ball and distribute. He came from LA and it was Lob City, right? That's what he does. When I look at Chris Paul, when he's in the game without James Harden, he's better. When James Harden is in the game, they struggle to work together.
Well, that's where Jimmy Butler could serve as that person that doesn't need the ball. I mean, that's what makes Paul George so good. He can score when he does, but Russell needs to have the ball and has to dominate the ball.
All right, read him in a week. This is Jay Will's list. It's Conley and Mitchell at 5, George and Westbrook at 4, Paul and Harden at 3, Lillard, McCollum at 2, and Thompson and Curry at number 1. All right, it's a good list. Well done. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.